The exclusive reveal of the Monegasque royal couple's private collection of Olympic torches, the fascinating story behind each Olympic flame, the intimate moments shared by Albert II and Charlene during this exceptional presentation, the secrets of the Palace of Monaco finally revealed, and the Principality's unique Olympic heritage. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share this exclusive video with your loved ones, and tell us in the comments which Olympic torch fascinates you the most. In the hushed salons of the Prince's Palace of Monaco, a scene of rare intimacy has just unfolded before our astonished eyes. For the first time in the modern history of the Principality, Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene have opened the doors of their private sanctuary to unveil one of the most extraordinary and little-known collections in the European royal world, their fascinating collection of Olympic torches. The image is striking. Albert II, the 66-year-old monarch who made Olympic history long before donning the crown, stands alongside his wife Charlene, herself a former Olympic swimming champion. Their intertwined hands tell a love story born in the chlorine of swimming pools and strengthened by a shared passion for the Olympic ideal. This palpable complicity transforms what could have been a simple exhibition into a moment of pure emotion, where royal grandeur blends with sporting nostalgia. The collection spread out before us defies imagination. 43 Olympic torches, each carrying within it the soul of an Olympiad, the hope of a generation, the spirit of an era. These torches are not mere decorative objects placed in a dusty display case. They still vibrate with the energy of thousands of athletes, resonate with the cheers of delirious crowds, and carry within them the tears of joy and disappointment that make high-level sport so beautiful. Albert II approaches the first torch with an almost religious delicacy. His fingers brush the polished metal of the Tokyo 1964 torch, the very one that lit up his childhood and forged his passion for the Olympics. His voice cracks slightly as he recalls these games, which marked the rebirth of the Olympic movement after the trauma of the Second World War. This torch, he explains, represents much more than a simple relay. It embodies the hope of a humanity that chooses to unite around the values of sport rather than tear itself apart in conflict. Charlene, radiant in her navy blue dress, subtly reminiscent of the colors of South Africa, her native country, stops in front of the Sydney 2000 torch. Her eyes light up with a special flame. She experienced those games from the inside, in the Olympic pool, wearing the South African colors with a pride that still shines through today in every word she says. She recounts those icy mornings of training, the sacrifices made for a dream that sometimes seemed unattainable, the enormous pressure weighing on the shoulders of a 22-year-old woman representing an entire continent. The Munich 1972 torch sits in a special setting. Albert II contemplates it with a mixture of fascination and gravity. These tragic games, marked by the attack that cost the lives of 11 members of the Israeli delegation, hold a special place in the prince's heart. He sees them as a symbol of an era when Olympic innocence was shattered, when sport discovered it could not escape the turpitudes of the world. Yet this torch continues to shine, proving that even in the darkest moments, the Olympic flame is never completely extinguished. The emotion reaches its peak when the couple approaches the section dedicated to the Winter Games. Albert II, who competed in 5 Winter Olympics in bobsleigh, could not suppress a nostalgic smile as he stroked the Calgary 1988 torch. These Canadian Games marked a turning point in his life. For the first time, the young Crown Prince understood that sport could be a formidable vehicle for diplomacy and bringing people together. His performances on the bobsleigh track, while not exceptional, earned him the respect of his peers and opened up unexpected prospects for Monaco in the Olympic world. Charlene fondly recalls the Beijing 2008 torch, the grandiose games that marked China's spectacular entry into the ranks of great Olympic nations. She remembers the spectacular opening ceremony, the meticulous organization that left the sporting world speechless. For her, these games represent the globalization of sport, proof that excellence knows no boundaries, that talent can emerge from every continent. The conversation naturally turns to the London 2012 Games, and here, another side of the couple is revealed. Albert II mischievously recounts how Charlene and he experienced these games from the VIP stands, having already been married for a year, discovering together the pleasure of being spectators rather than actors. This London torch, with its revolutionary design composed of copper petals, symbolizes for them this transition to a new life, that of a royal couple united by a love of sport but now committed to broader missions. The centerpiece of the collection sits in the center of the room. The torch from the 1984 Los Angeles Games, the one that marked America's return to the Olympic scene after the Moscow boycott, shines with a particular brilliance. Albert II explains that this torch represents for him the very essence of the Olympic spirit, the ability to overcome political obstacles to celebrate human excellence. He remembers these flamboyant games, organized with Hollywood pomp and circumstance, that forever changed the perception of the Olympic Games. The acquisition of certain pieces is truly epic. Charlene vividly recounts how it took them years to obtain the torch from Atlanta 1996, the Centennial Games that nearly turned disastrous due to the attack in Centennial Park. This flame, which burned despite the terror, symbolizes for the couple the resilience of the Olympic spirit in the face of adversity. Each negotiation, each contact made to enrich this collection becomes an adventure, a passionate quest that strengthens their bond. The Sochi 2014 torch held a special place in Albert II's heart. These Russian Games, held in a tense geopolitical context, reminded him of the importance of Olympic neutrality. As a member of the International Olympic Committee, he experienced firsthand the political pressures that weighed on these games. This torch reminded him that sport must remain a territory of peace, a space where nations can meet without ulterior motives of war. Charlene paused for a long time in front of the Rio 2016 torch, the first games held in South America. She recalled the particular emotion she felt seeing the continent of her youth host the greatest celebration of world sport. This Brazilian torch, with its sensual curves inspired by the Carioca landscapes, reminded her that Olympism is not the preserve of wealthy nations, that it can flourish wherever there is a passion for self-improvement. The couple also discusses the contemporary challenges of the Olympics. The Tokyo 2020 torch, ultimately held in 2021 due to the pandemic, symbolizes for them the Olympic movement's adaptability. These games without an audience, these draconian health protocols, and this unique atmosphere prove that nothing can extinguish the Olympic flame. Albert II, who was present in Tokyo despite the restrictions, recounts the paradoxical emotion of these very special games, both magnificent and melancholic. The future of this collection is as exciting as its past. Albert II reveals that he and Charlene are considering creating a permanent Olympic museum in Monaco, which would allow the public to discover these treasures, usually hidden in the palace's private apartments. This project, still confidential, is part of their desire to make Monaco a global center for promoting Olympic values. The Principality, already home to numerous international federations, could thus become a place of pilgrimage for all sports lovers. Charlene also discusses the educational impact of this collection on their children, twins Jacques and Gabriella. These torches become exceptional teaching aids for explaining the history of the 20th century through the prism of sport. Each flame tells the story of an era, each design reflects the spirit of its time. The prince's children thus grew up immersed in this Olympic culture, heirs to a family passion that transcends generations. The technical aspect of conservation also fascinates collectors. Albert II details the precautions taken to preserve these historical objects: controlled temperature, regulated humidity, specialized lighting. Each torch benefits from a conservation treatment worthy of the greatest museums. This scientific approach to the collection reveals another side of the prince, that of a meticulous enthusiast who leaves nothing to chance. The international dimension of this Olympic passion is revealed in the contacts she has established with other collectors around the world. Charlene recounts their exchanges with Olympic museums and their relationships with former athletes who own unique pieces. This community of enthusiasts forms a global network united by a love of sport and respect for its history. The interview draws to a close in this atmosphere charged with emotion and nostalgia. Albert II and Charlene, still holding hands, contemplate their treasure one last time. These 43 torches are not just collectibles, they represent the embodiment of their dreams, their memories, and their unwavering faith in an ideal that transcends borders and eras. The couple is already discussing future acquisitions, with the Paris 2024 Games obviously in their sights. This Parisian torch, with its revolutionary design and its particular symbolism for neighboring France, will certainly occupy a special place in their collection. This exclusive revelation reveals a royal couple in a new light, far removed from protocol and convention. Here, in the intimacy of their shared passion, Albert II and Charlene of Monaco once again become simply two former athletes united by a love of sport and a nostalgia for the stadiums. Their collection of Olympic torches tells the story of modern Olympism, but also that of their own journey, from their first encounter to their shared commitment to the values of sport. As the last rays of the Mediterranean sun illuminate these extinguished but not forgotten flames, one question remains and ignites our curiosity. What will be the next Olympic torch to join this extraordinary collection, and what new chapter in Monaco's Olympic history will this acquisition write?